welcome. Ooh, that's better. Some light on the subject. What we've got here is, it's not a coffin, this is a Pulk. So what we're going to do in this video today is we're going to go through what I've got, we're going to set it up, we're not going to pack it, basically we're just going to look at what is here, in here, so the bags and all the bits that I've got. If you hear any noises, that's dogs chewing things. To set the Pulk up, we're going to use one small screwdriver, which you would have seen in my video on kit, bits, repair kit and such, and one multi-tool. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we'll open this and we will take a look at what we've got. So we'll just put that safe there. So this is a Pulk bag, kind of makes sense. Hopefully we're not too, I don't think we're too overexposed. We've gone a bit mad on the lighting. I'll maybe show you at the end if I remember. I'll probably forget. It's been a while since I've opened this actually. So in here we've got a strap that goes around the waist, and the Pulk will attach to this, and then that goes over the shoulders. If the load isn't too heavy, I think the conventional thoughts are not to bother with the shoulder straps. They're only if it's like a very heavy load that you're pulling. So again, we're learning this together, so thoughts and comments, pop them, down below. So for the moment, we're going to put that to one side. In fact, what we'll do is we'll remove the Pulk pack. Because the reason why I'm thinking of doing that is this is black, the bag is black, and quite likely I will forget to have another look at that later on. In here we've got straps, and these straps we attach to the sides of the Pulk, which we will do in this video. I've got padded shoulder straps, probably won't use the padded ones, but I got them anyway. These are non-padded, so if you wanted to put a backpack or something like that on you, then then you could put a backpack over that if you wanted to. In here we've got the poles or traces, so that's what goes on the front, so that's what you attach to yourself. We also have ropes, so we will show you that later on. I just want to try and get into the Pulk. What we've got here, this was actually this reminds me, I need to get onto them. This is a customized piece. So what this is made so that it is about 2 meters long, it's about 15 centimeters wide, and about I can't remember how deep I said, maybe like 10 centimeters deep. And the idea with this, it's like a sardine can type opener, and basically when you pack your tent away, you fold the poles over on a tunnel tent, roll the tunnel tent up with the poles in place, and it fits in there, and then you just do it up. So when you get into camp, all you need to do is to unzip it and then pull the tent out like that. So like I said, I thought I would give it a try. and see. But obviously then when you pack the tent, then obviously that goes on the very, very top of the, you know, the very top of the Pulk, and it will obviously overhang a little bit. We'll try it. Like I said, you know, we can also pack it inside as well. So that's pretty much that. So we don't need to look at that again. This one is similar to that, but what this is, it's marginally bigger, and this you undo again like a sardine can. You open it like that, and basically in this bag here inside, and we will use these bags a bit nearer the time. We're not going until March, but basically in here you put your bed, you put your air mat, deflated, but you put your air mat in there, you put your bed in there, you know, your nighttime stuff kind of goes in there. You then do it up so that when you get in, obviously for what I'm doing, you know, realistically these things, you know, they're not realistic. They're not going to be realistically, you know, needed, let's face it, for what I'm doing. But basically you put your bedding in there, and then you probably on the Pulk, and then you fold it in half, and then it would go on top of the Pulk like that, and then you've got a loops there, which these straps here would fit through, and then obviously you then secure it down tight to the, you know, to the Pulk. So that is basically a bed bag, and the idea is that when you get into camp, as much as possible is already ready. You're not having to get your bag out and your stuff out. So we've got a tent bag for ease of pitching the tent. We'll try it. We'll see what it's like. I don't know. Like I said, I've never done it, so it's just stuff to try and see. You know, people use this, so we will try and use it too. And then this bag here, this is the bag that comes with the setup. Those were extras, and you know, in reality, this is probably, you know, more than enough. So this bag here is made to fit in the Pulk. So really it's like a big rectangular duffel bag with a zip that goes across the top. And the general idea is that you put all of your stuff. It's like a big rucksack. Basically, this is like a rucksack, and it just goes in the Pulk, and you put all your kit in there. So everything that you take would go in there, and then zip it up. And then again, the straps, which we will fit in a minute, then, you know, go over the top, and you tighten them up and you tighten everything down. And then those bags, obviously, because we realistically, the first trip we do, we're only going out for a few days, so we're not exactly going to have too much to fill this up. So we're probably going to have more stuff. We're probably going to have more stuff hanging off it with bedding and tents and everything. It'd be like the Eiffel Tower. But obviously that's what that is, and then that would kind of go, you know, over the top. But again, we will have to practice and play and see, you know, see how it all goes. It's part of the fun of it. You know, clearly you don't need all those extra bits. You know, for me, it's just fun to mess around with it. And it really is as, you know, as simple as that. Another thing that I got separately, and that's, I got this one here and a slightly smaller one, this one here, and they both fit at the bottom. So you either put it at the front or at the back. Probably go at the back actually, because you want as much weight at the back, you want more weight at the back. So they're both plywood, and basically this one is 50 centimeters by 30 and this one is 45 by 25, and the idea is that that one would take my Optimus and because it's got a long, because that pipe thing is straight, I felt that I would need a little bit longer for that. And this one, when MSR send it, will take the XGK stove and a fuel bottle. So I could get away with a smaller one for that. So I'll probably use that one more. I'll leave that one for the moment. But again, the idea is that we'll probably do a video on this at some point, but your stove and what have you kind of goes on here, so that when you get into camp, you know, your stove is basically ready. So you kind of just put your stove down and you start cooking and eating and, you know, boiling water and such like, rather than having to get everything out and set everything up. It's already set up on this for you, so it just saves time. That's the general idea. But these are called stove boards, and they both fit in the bottom. Thankfully I got the measurements correct. So the next thing that we need to do, and we will do that together. So what you get here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4 straps for 1, 2, 3, 4 pre-drilled holes. Excess screws there. Now when this came, it came with, in fact I think it's 2, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's not enough washers there. Actually, that might be. Oh no, sorry. I've opened the wrong. I opened. I think I've opened the wrong pot. I think that's the pot with the spares that I don't need. Yeah, I've opened the wrong bag. This is the one that comes with the Pulk. So there should be, when it came, there was 8 washers, 2, 4, 6, 8, that would go there, there, through there, and then a bolt on the outside. But I must admit, I can't help but think that it would be better to have a washer on the outside as well. So I'm going to attach a washer on the outside. Now maybe that's a mistake, I don't know. So obviously the first thing that we've got wrong is first error is obviously to check which way around there. And you want to have the screw on the inside and the nut and bolt, or the bolt, on the outside. So you kind of get the idea. Now, because I can feel the screw on the outside turning, this is why I want to use the pliers, attempt to use the pliers. There, see? Now that is nice and tight. So we'll work our way down and we will do all of the others. So washer goes there, that goes there. Like I said, they don't supply a washer to go on the outside, but I can't help but think it's helpful. You know, maybe it it makes it too not enough screw on the outside, but that's nice and tight, nice. And that's the first one done there. So then when you've got your stuff underneath nice and secure, you can then tighten that up there and secure it down so it doesn't go anywhere. So we're going to do the other 4. That is then all of your straps set up, and you've got there's plenty of strap there. Obviously my spare emergency strap almost certainly won't need, and is the wrong diameter this, so it'll do for this upcoming trip. But obviously if you're taking spare strapping, then you really need to take the same diameter, because obviously if one piece goes, you could just switch out one piece rather than, you know, having to switch out, you know, bits of everything. So that's just something to bear in mind. I'll just show you the ropes. I'll show you the ropes first, because for the bit that I'm doing, this is more likely to be an emergency than anything else. I'm more likely to use the poles, which we'll look at in a minute. So that's the front of the ropes. That's the bit that will go on you. That's a bungee line there, so that's the bit that takes, so it's not it's not too jarring. But obviously you have, you know, an emergency line there that if anything breaks, and also it stops it from, you know, stretching too much. And then you've got 2 ropes, and basically one rope goes through there and one rope goes through there, and then all you do is you tie a knot off on that one, tie a knot off on that one, and that's your, which I won't bother doing, but you get the idea. That's your ropes. most likely, I think, for my use, more emergency, because I think it will be a little bit hilly. Steady! I think it will be a little bit hilly, although hopefully not too bad. But what we will set up, and for travelling, what we'll have to do is to unset this. So I'll set it up, but then obviously, you know, I will take it apart, as you'll see why in a minute. There's your pole bag, so we'll just put that there out the way. So you get one pole with that goes, attaches to the front, and then this piece here and this piece here, they attach to the belt. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. And then this piece here goes in between them just to keep them together. So again, we'll ignore that piece for the moment. Now I've got to remember which way round this goes. So this one, you can separate them. So you pull a pin out there, that separates. And this one goes here, and they've put washers on both sides. So I'm not quite sure why they didn't put washers for the outside for that. Not quite sure. So there's a little bit of undoing to do here. So obviously you always put the nut part, or the bolt part, goes on the inside, so any snaggy bits goes on the outside. These don't have to be too tight now, because these I will have to take apart before travelling. The reason why these I will take apart is because obviously this is sticking up here, and I'm just thinking that in travel, you know, that could get bent or something like that. This whole thing could snap off, you know, in airline thing. So I think before travel, we'll take these off and put them inside for safety. And then they basically have like a safety clip here, so that clip comes out like that. You take this bit here and it goes through, I can't remember which one it went through now, the top one I think. If it went through the bottom one, if it went through the bottom one, then shout. There, like that. And then that snaps into place like that. The bottom one, which is the bigger hole, your ropes go through that. So if you've got this attached, so if you've got these attached and you don't want to use these holes here for ropes, then you can put the ropes through the bottom two there. And I'm thinking, hoping, okay, if we do it that way, now that kind of rests there, but not, yeah, pretty decent like that actually. So you could, in theory, put that under the ropes, but I wouldn't put too much pressure on any of that. But yeah, I suppose in theory you could, you know, temporarily do that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to put too much pressure on that. So that's that one. This one then also goes on that top one there, and that goes up, and oops, and that. Good to see someone has no idea what they're doing. And then that snaps there. So that is your two tracers. So what we'll do, hopefully without breaking everything, is move the table much closer. I don't know if this room is long enough. That one is just it's just, but I won't fit. But I won't fit on it. But you'll get the idea. So then you get this thing here, which goes over there, there, and then that lines up there. And then we take this one and this one and this would be better to do. You can tell we've done this before. Still, it's better to do it now and make any little errors, and then we'll know for next time. So that goes on there. So I'll say that's the whole point of these videos and these trips, because normally when people do these videos, they're all the experts, they all know what they're doing, or they claim they do. This is the opposite with me. We haven't done this before. We don't know what we're doing, and we're doing it together. So, obviously, because the room isn't big enough, I can't get in it. But basically, that's the front of the Pulk. So in effect, you know, you kind of get the you kind of get the drift. I can't even move it any further back, but I would be about 6 or 8 inches further forward than that. So that pulled quite a long way back there. You're right back there. You're not going to get lost or something, are you? So that's that. So what we'll do is, if I take that off, and that off, will that, okay, that goes there. Like I said, I wouldn't want to put pressure on it because I don't know how delicate all this stuff is, but basically let's move this. That's the microphone. That around and move. That's the microphone again. I won't bother with the harness at the back. You put that around you like that, in the stomach, and then this one here, this goes on there, and then that is then locked into place there. I think this strap is a bit high. I think it needs to go down a bit. But you kind of get the, to be fair, it's getting quite, this is medium. I don't want to be losing, although I've only got a t-shirt on, but yeah, I don't want to lose too much more weight, do I? Although, like I said, I'll have clothes and jacket, so that'll puff up. So yeah, so that one goes there, and then obviously the other one goes on the other side, and it's a fairly easy, once you figured it out, just trips on there, pushes down and back. It's a 3-1, well 2. It's a 2 thing. You put that goes on. It's like the first movement, as it were. Push it down and lock it, and then it doesn't come off. If you were using the ropes, I believe the ropes attach to that. So if you have the ropes, then you've got this big carabiner loop thing here. And then and then the ropes would attach, you know, to that there. So that's how you attach the Pulk to you. So basically, together, to the 2 people that have got this far, never mind. We're doing it because we want to do it, and 2 people will enjoy following. That's fine. And that's how you set the Pulk up. So that's the ropes. So now we've learnt the ropes. And then obviously if you do want to use the back's harness system, then you could, but I haven't quite figured out how to get it over my shoulders and all that. So I don't think it'll be heavy enough. And to be honest, I probably won't use it. I think that one goes that way. I think they do suggest well, that's not right, is it? Because now they're both over there. I think that one doesn't come over this shoulder. I think that one has to go over that shoulder. You can tell I've done this many times. I've done it once and forgot. And that goes over there, that's it. And you then have that one there, snaps on there. And that one there, snaps on there. Obviously they're not done up properly tight or anything. That goes on there. And that goes there, probably a bit low, but you get the idea. And then hopefully that's crossed over properly at the back. But that's if you want to use, you know, the shoulder harness as well, which probably, for what I'm doing, probably isn't needed. You know, I think just this is enough to pull it along. But we'll kind of see how it goes. We'll take it and go from there, really. And then obviously with this, you then just, that bit comes off there, that comes off there, and that comes off there. So I think in camp, so question, in camp, do you leave these attached or do you take these off? I probably would imagine you'd leave them on, because the least that you have to do, the better. But, you know, that is a question, because if you've got these huge long poles, you know, what do you do in camp, you know, with them? Do you disconnect it all and then have to reconnect it the next day? Answers below, because I hadn't thought of that. So I don't know what you do there, you know. Yeah, that's a good question. What do you do at night with this? It's obviously a very quick, simple, yes, lining up your holes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'll be wanting to fiddle with that too much. I don't know if I'll be wanting to fiddle with that too much in a blizzard. You know, it's easy enough-ish. I'm not even sure it's easy enough here, but I mean, you know, it's easy enough here, but in, you know, when you're out, I don't know, you know, comment below. That's what I say. This is just a learning, you know, it's a learning thing for me and for anyone else, you know, who's just generally interested in their stuff or just curious as to how adventurers do it. Well, obviously they don't do it, obviously not like I do it, but you know, it kind of just gives you a flavour and a taste of it, I guess. Anyway, that's basically all there is for this video. We basically, I wanted to get these up and I just wanted to show you all the packs that I've got and that, and the belt system. And then I've also got, I will order from them a bag to put my stove box in, my stove board in, because I want to have a bag to put that in. So another bag. I'm gonna have more bags than a bag person. And that's little Bella. And that's little Bella. Oh, yeah, you're in the camera. You see, bonus footage for the one person who's got to the very end. Who got to the very end and saw Bella? Who got to the very end and saw Bella? And that's the lighting setup. I'll just show you. Basically, I've had this tripod for donkey's years. It's a Gitzo GT3530. God alone knows how much that would be these days. That's an Anker Swiss ball head. God, I've had that donkey's years. Things change in life and you just don't quite use the stuff that you thought that you might 20 years or 15, 20 years ago. That's a Bowen's light stand. I've had that for 20 years, well, 15 years. This diffuser, I don't actually remember when I got it. It must have been like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. But just very recently from eBay, I got that Godox SL303 light. And it's Bowen's compatible. So it fits the stand and it fits the diffuser as well.